All right, everybody. I am with Mark Villalobos, Performing Arts Center Manager at Rowland Unified School District. He comes from the church tech world, but now he is bringing that knowledge to the Rowland Unified School District in California. Mark, how's it going, man?
I'm doing really good. Everything's good.
Good. Excellent. I love the LED wall behind you. Very nice touch.
Yes, brand new one. New
Ooh,
screens,
great.
always trying new technology around here, which is one thing I love about the district.
That's that's important. Like that is huge. That the investment into these new technologies that are, like an LED wall. What does that provide a school district? It's not clear cut, right? But yet, you're making the investment into it and seeing what it can do. I think that's really cool. So kind of providing a little bit of context, you come from the church tech streaming world. Could you just tell us a little bit about your background first?
Actually, I upgraded with my church doing technology, but I actually come from theater. I was a technical director at the city of Whittier for their theater for years, and then I started doing live stream, just volunteering at my church to doing live stream and doing tech, and they used Resi for their live stream. And I always liked that portion of it was always very simple. You plug it in and it works. Very dependable, just really easy. You don't have to have like extra equipment. You don't have to have specialty apps. All you do is buy the Resi encoder and you plug in your live stream feed and it goes.
That's awesome. Yeah. So in your role now with Roland, you're bringing that tech experience from church into what you're doing now. So I guess from a high level view, what are your responsibilities now, tech wise with Roland Unified?
Well, initially I came in with this brand new theater. They built a brand new theater for the district, and they didn't have anybody that did any audio and visual for the district. So it really was supposed to be just for the theater. And then when COVID hit, we needed a large space, because of spacing. We needed a large space to be able to put things together for like the technology for all the teachers, for them returning after COVID to do space, to do, students had to be spaced, there had to be a separation. And we were like, how can we do that technology? Well,
Right.
then we also knew that we had to broadcast. We have 21 schools in our district, so we have to broadcast to our schools, but we can't travel there. So what I ended up doing was in the theater, we ended up setting up a camera, and it's a Black Magic setup to get all our video and then live stream through the Resi so that we can then send it to different schools without having to physically come together. So, and at the same time, we now use that technology to record. So now we record all our shows, all our events here, our plays, orchestras, everything we do here at the theater. And during COVID, all our presentations from the superintendent, the information to the district, we live streamed it all here from the theater and send it out through Resi. And it's just like I said again, it's just, I don't think I can say it often enough. The Resi is just reliable. We first tried to do some live streaming in the stadiums for the graduations, again because of the COVID issue. And once again, it was a different technology company that was doing it, or video company that was doing it. And they were trying to use different software in their computers and different things to try to get the live stream out. And it kept getting interference, and it kept getting blocked, and just wasn't working out right. So that's when I went ahead and we upgraded the technology. so that we can then, we got mobile units, which is great. We got these mobile units now. It has a Resi right on the rack, and we plug it in when we get on the field or we go to a location. And so now we're also mobile with our Resi system. So that has been so much easier because now I don't have to install a Resi system in each football field or each location. I got 2 mobile units, and when we need to live stream something, I just take it, set it up. We have network already established everywhere. So I just plug it right in. We're mobile, and we can pretty much live stream from any location in the district.
That's awesome. Now I'm curious, when you say mobile, we have our Resi mini encoders, we have our legacy Ray encoder, which is also pretty small, but you're talking about a rack setup. So are you creating, a mobile, call it a 12U rack or something like that, and you have a Resi server encoder on there, part of everything else you need for production?
Yeah, at the time, the Resi units were just coming out. I didn't know about them, and but in order to make it all mobile, we also have to have the hookups for the cameras. So in this rack, it's a the Resi encoder is there, and we added in the racks for the Blackmagic as well, the switcher, the recorders, all the mini recorders, So it's like I'm still a mobile DJ, so for me it's like a mobile DJ case, but it's not that big. It's just and then you pop it open and the screens are there, and you do all the switching right there. You plug in your computer and you do the switching all right there live. And we had to make it mobile like that again because that way we could take all the cameras, we could take the entire system and be at any location in the district and run live.
That is cool. That is, yeah. Like, I love that, mobile setup, but there's not really a compromise. Like, you have everything built in, so it's just ready to rock. You roll up with it, plug in your network, plug in your power, plug in your cameras.
Well, yes, and I have a horror story later for you about that. And when you're going, when you go in mobile, you need it to work like you're here, like here in my theater. I need to be able to plug it in, and I just need it to work. I need to plug in all my cameras, make sure I got the same kind of switcher. I made sure that I stayed with all the same technology with what we're doing, so that everything works with each other and just plugs in. And when you go on site, you don't, here we got cables in the back, we got equipment over there. If we're missing something, we go pull it. But you're on site at a football field doing a game, and you need an extra cable or you need something extra, you don't know. So what we do is we create the system to go all together, all the cables. Well, the rack is perfect. The switcher, the recorders, the Resi is right there, and we just plug it in, and it does its job.
Listen, we better get some pictures of this. I need some pictures of this rack, because I, like many people, love a clean rack build. So yeah, I need to see this. Yeah, so I just want to understand this right. You were brought on to Rowland right before COVID, and then COVID happened, lockdown happened, and Rowland was just lucky that you came so equipped. You were already from that background, and you're like, oh yeah, we can set up this live stream, we can do this, broadcast all the campuses, all the schools. Like Rowland is lucky to have you. They are lucky to have you.
Well, actually, I'm lucky that I go to church and I praise God, because he's the one that's how I learned this technology. Remember, I was in theater and just started volunteering at church. And I was actually, at the time, I was doing more at church than I was actually doing in theater. But all that brought, when I came here, all of a sudden we put it all together. For example, I was just supposed to be the theater guy. I'm just supposed to do lights and stage. And then it was like, well, all of a sudden we have this emergency, and then we need to do this all. So this is kind of how it happened. So It was in December of 2019. Yeah, 2019. I was brought onto the theaters brand new, and I had to get it to pass inspection. We had our grand opening something like January 20th of that year of 2020, and then we had scheduled our first live improvisations here with one of the theater groups on that March, was it March 15th? On that March 15th or whatever day, we shut down.
Yeah.
So I literally was here 3 months, and our first show had to be canceled because of COVID.
Oh.
So I wasn't here very long.
Yeah. That was a weird time. Like that week before. Like I remember I was doing a live basketball game, and the production crew, like there was a vibe going on, and then like 5 days later all our jobs got canceled. I was freelancing at the time. It was weird. All events obviously got canceled. So fast forward to now, I know that you're live streaming school board meetings, right? And now there's a mandate in California that school board meetings must be live streamed. Am I correct in that, or am I off?
I've been told that. I haven't received the information. I haven't requested that, so I'm still looking into that. But yeah, I still need to look into that. I need to figure that out. But yeah, right now in California, they're constantly passing different requirements and different laws. And so it is a little tough to keep up to date with all the mandates they're doing, but we try to do that. But one of the issues that we want to sort of live stream, like using the URL within the website to live stream straight to the website, is we want to try to get away from YouTube. And we're currently in the process of trying to make it more secured so that we know who's logging in, and we can track what's going on or who's viewing the content, basically. So we want to narrow that down a little bit, and instead of course going to YouTube, because then YouTube is just out there, and then also to our educations, we want to do educations amongst our teachers. We've got 21 schools, and we have a hard time trying to bring all the teachers together to educate them on certain topics or certain policies that the district wants to do. So by isolating it to a URL and sending it to wherever we want, and then making that place secure that only our people see it, we want to start hosting educations for teachers, education for students, but we need to keep the outside world out. So we're gonna start using the Resi, the live stream, and the URLs and all that web-based options now. And I don't even know it all yet. I'm right now putting it all together and making it grow. So I'm currently putting in the dynamics for that. But that's the visions we have for it. And so, especially for the board meetings, actually, we've gone live with board meetings to YouTube. Tomorrow night will be our first live directly to the URL to our website. So we're very excited to keep moving forward and keep growing the network so that it'll help out the district and fill the needs that we need.
Yeah. I'm very excited for you to have your Resi live stream maiden voyage school board meetings. That actually popped an idea in my head as you're talking about, like, just kind of creating a more targeted, less of the outside world, just for a specific group of people with specific URLs and everything, keeping that kind of community, the content within the community, right? I'm curious, since you're using the URLs and you have a Resi web player embedded into your website, you would have access to QR click Resi QR click. I'm not saying this is a tomorrow thing because I'm sure you're, you know, tomorrow's locked down. But in the future, I wonder what it would be like to have like, you know, a QR code pop up on screen after, you know, a decision has been made, or, you know, there's a debate going on in the meeting on like, for everyone watching, like, do you agree with what was passed? Do you not agree? You know, not necessarily a hard voting system, right? But like just a kind of temperature check. Like I think that could be cool. Like have you seen the QR click overlays?
I've just briefly watched some videos again. Like I'll be honest. I have a vision and I put these things together as I go, but I rely on your techs and your people to get me there. So that's another important part. Every time I call up Resi and I say, hey, how do I do this? How do I get this done? They're very clear and precise, and then how to get there and how to do it in the format is really pretty simple. It's just you need to be talked through it and, you know, kind of work through it a little bit. But yeah, there's like, I'm caught up with other duties. So unfortunately, I don't get to spend all my time hanging out with Resi and going through all the technology, which I love to spend more time with you guys and go through it. And actually, you're right. I would love to bring some of those things in. I do need to spend more time with you guys, but you know, I just love. That's the exciting thing too, though, is continuing to build it and then finding more exciting ways to continue that.
Yeah, and here's the thing. We want to like explore that with you, right? Like you're figuring it out. I mean, literally, if you call us up when you have a minute, which I know is in high demand, but like, you know, you call us up and have a brainstorm sesh of like, we're trying to achieve this. What about this? Like, we'll kind of work through like, oh, you could use this, you know, feature we offer. Actually, no, that might not be the best one. Try this instead. Like, I love that. And yeah, if you have any questions on QR click overlays, you let me know. Cause I think that could be really cool. We'll connect later about that, but so, all right, we're talking about getting a, you know, a more secure, a higher quality production going on for a school board meeting, right? Which I'm sure is appreciated. But I think a thought that kind of goes through a lot of people's heads are, it's a school board meeting. Why not just throw up a webcam and Zoom and call it a day? Like, you know, why not just do that?
Well, actually, the Zoom is more restrictive. I mean, you have to log into a Zoom. We have to use a different kind of camera and a different kind of setup to run into our system. So now I need an IT guy to do his IT stuff, and then I need my operator to operate what we talked before, the black magic that sends into the Resi and does all the work. So we're using two people to do one job. I think if we get away from the Zoom and go more with this, I think we're going to be able to make it bigger for more people to see it, which is what you want. You want the exposure. I shouldn't say exposure, but you want the
accessibility.
Accessibility and
Yeah.
You know, what do they call it? The phrase nowadays, like you want to be open-ended. You want to be more open. You want to be more. I can't think of the term right now that they're using right now in politics. This transparency. There you go.
Yeah.
You want to be more transparent. You want to have it out there. You want to have it more available, and so anybody can just go into the website and take a look at it. So,
Yeah, no, that I fully agree, and I can confidently say, back during COVID, I helped my church do a live stream. What is it called? The equivalent of a board meeting, our yearly congregational meeting, And you know, because it was COVID, we streamed it. We did it through Zoom. Similar setup, had like a Canon camera, microphone, but then converted it into USB, you know, capture card, all that. My gosh, biggest pain ever, because you had people who were just like, I can't hear it. And that wasn't on our end, it was on their end. But because it's Zoom and it's Zoom, Zoom is never, we all know how Zoom is. Oh, what a headache. Let me tell you. So I was like, whereas like I'll call it a standard production, a standard live stream where you have the feed, which then just gets encoded and sent out to your destination. You know what the stream sounds like before it goes out. And with Resi, you know it's going to go out perfectly, as opposed to a Zoom or, you know, a YouTube RTMP or all that. So yeah, I see where your logic's coming from, and I fully agree.
Well, again, that's going back to why you need the IT guy. You need the IT guy who really knows Zoom to sit there and make sure that everybody's mics are off and people that are in shouldn't be in and not in and all that kind of stuff. It's you know, I want to get away from that. Just show it like it's live, like we're here, we're talking, and just show it like it's live.
Oh, well, I'll tell you my favorite deflating moment whenever I'm using Zoom, which is not very often anymore, but when someone wants to play music through Zoom, and then Zoom, despite the settings, despite the, you know, professional audio checkbox that you can do, it still filters out the music and makes it sound like garbage. And then they get mad at you as if it's your fault.
Right. Yeah. There's no stereo option in Zoom.
Terrible. Oh boy.
Yeah, and that is the other thing. You know, a lot of people think technology is perfect, and no, it's not all perfect. And no, I can't make it sound better through Zoom.
No, no, you can't. So yeah, let's one. I hope tomorrow goes great. You know, your maiden voyage, streaming that. But where else do you kind of see? I know you mentioned it a little bit before, but you know, where else do you see yourself implementing Resi into Rowland School District?
Well, actually, right now, like when we started live streaming the graduations, actually, a lot of the families appreciated that because there's a lot of grandmas and grandpas. It's hard for them to walk all that way to make it in the stadium or get up into a seat or do whatever. And so more and more people are doing like, you know, kind of like graduation parties at their house and then watching the live stream. So similar to that, like our theater only seats like 600. We only have 600 seats in our theater. And when we do some of these large, we have a big musical program, and we have some of these big, large bands and orchestras that are I mean, just great. But there's 200-300 of them, and they don't fit here in the theater, and we don't have all the seating in the stadium for them. Or actually, you don't want to put an orchestra in the stadium, but like in the gyms or an enclosed space, you know, there's just not enough seating. So we're looking at some of these bigger events where there's just more people. We just have more people. And we're looking whatever event that is to start live streaming those events so that some people can watch from home, kind of like football on Sunday. Not everybody's going to fit in the stadium, but you can watch it from home, you know? So, and then thousands of people can watch at home in the comfort of their own home.
I think that's actually a good rule of thumb here. As I'm listening to you, like, I think a common misconception is, well, we have 600 seats, so we don't need to live stream unless there's more than 600 people need it. And it's like, well, if you're approaching max capacity, I can guarantee you that there's a demand for online viewership. I can guarantee you that there's a demand. So like just when in doubt, throw up the live stream, because I guarantee you're gonna get some viewership that you wouldn't have thought you would have gotten.
Well, and again, looking at our older generation, it's hard sometimes to get them here. So let them watch at home in their comfort, or if they have, or somebody has a medical situation where they cannot come, at least they could still watch it. They could still be involved. So,
Exactly.
so yeah, so it's just there's, and once again, going back to that fact, that there's more. Like you can't. I don't know, like we're a district just like anybody else, and we do the best we can, but we can't be building a new stadium every year that we're overoccupied. And we're in California; it's packed here. There's a lot of people here, and we're getting packed. We're getting packed. So this is a way that you don't have to come to the physical space. You can enjoy it at home.
Yeah, and I guarantee the live stream is going to be a much better viewing experience than mom zooming in on the phone, 5x zoom, and it's all grainy and pixely for graduation. So you teased earlier that you had a production horror story, and we all have them. So I am very curious what your production horror story is, and of course, how did you overcome it?
Well, I'm just gonna say how I overcome it is once again, like, your resi techs going to people that know systems and equipment, and relying on that. You guys backing your equipment and what you do. I really, without my vendors and supporters of the equipment and things that I do, would never get the job done. So you have to rely on people and expertise. So the horror story was kind of like the mobile thing, and this is why I wanted to bring that up. So the district wanted to do an event, an employee event at a hotel, and one of the problems was that it's very expensive. These banquets and these events are very, very expensive. And we wanted to try to find a way to get it under budget. Well, the audio and visual component of it was very, very expensive. And we also needed some assets here. And so I requested that I'll do all the AV and travel if you put the money that you would pay for the rental into the equipment that first year. So then we have the equipment, then the second year, we're saving. Okay. So, but typical, we go on site, and there's never, and it's outside, and there's never enough power outside. And I scrounge up these turnout, our building services, which is all the plumbers, all the painters. They got all the specialty equipment. They had a couple old generators, and we put together an LED wall. It was 8 rows by 4, pretty big, and had to put it up on the stage and platform to raise it up. And we were running these old generators, and of course, like, the last 5 minutes that we needed this LED wall, it was right during like the very last, like the biggest employee of the year award, right? The last person.
Right.
And
oh no.
And the generator went down. And there was one cord, like, way far, like probably 20 feet away through open doors. We quick had to get some extension cords and plug it in and run it all the way.
Run, yeah.
Okay. So the next year they tell us, okay, well, we're gonna get new generators for you. Well, that's when California passed the law of the new GFI plugs. So we get the new generators with the new GFI plugs, and we ran a test here. You run a test, you don't run 4 hours. You run like,
sure.
I think we actually went 45 minutes. We went 45 minutes, no problems with the generators, right? No problems with the generators. So we set it up within. Oh, and I took my spare generator from home, which is an old generator, no GFI plug in it.
Yep.
And mind you, these LED walls, they only draw 1.5 amps. They don't draw a lot of amps, but they're not grounded. So that not being grounded.
Oh no.
So after about an hour of running these generators, trip the GFI plugs. The generators had plenty of power, but they tripped the plugs, and wouldn't work. So I got out my old generator because doing anything one time, you always take a spare.
Smart man.
So I brought out my old generator, and it was no easy, but it worked. We got enough of the wall to work.
Yeah.
So that we can and then so the next year the hotel, in trying to help us, I brought one generator because the hotel, they paid for this very expensive power out there and plugs, but all the Edison were the new GFIs. So I had modified the generators with higher standard GFIs, like they can handle more load.
Oh,
and,
okay.
and so I had my electricians here, fix those and upgrade them. But we went ahead and we plugged into their power. Did not work. So they spent thousands of dollars to put in this whole electrical system, and we still couldn't get power. Oh my goodness, nightmare. So I plugged my generator in. And luckily it held out. It did the job. And so now I went a step further. I got I had one of my vendors, he gave me an old, one of those construction box, and we put upgraded GFIs in those. I had my electricians ground them out, and now we do the plug into a generator to a construction box, and that way all the grounding in between, and ground the generator. We don't have no problems now. Now one generator will run the whole thing, But this is like 2-3 years in the making. I was starting to think I was cursed at this site, but when we did it this past June, we did it.
What?
No problems, plenty of power, and it worked out great.
Third time's the charm. Third year's the charm. Oh my gosh. Well, I mean, well done. I mean, I'm glad that you've troubleshot it, really dissect it. Okay, why is this happening? And you didn't just find a solution, you built a solution. That's awesome. I winced when you started talking about GFCI. I winced because I had similar, not LED wall. Years and years ago, I was filming some golf videos, a golfer, and the producer wanted more light on the golfer. It was sunny day, so we hung up some diffusion to diffuse the sun, but he wanted more light on his face, so we ended up renting an old school Airy 1200 watt HMI. And we shot, multiple times this summer, all in the same location. And when I rented this, 1200 HMI, well, we didn't have generators. So, but there was like a power pole that had a GFCI outlet. And I plugged it in and, flicked on the ballast. Light comes on, it's heating up, right? It takes like a minute or so to get fully lit, the lamp to get fully lit. It turns on. I'm like, all right, great. Are you kidding me? Reset the GFCI, try it again. I'm like, no. Literally waste it. It would not run on the GFCI, and we didn't have any other option. So I was like, oh, well, we kind of just wasted the rental money on this light. we got a generator the next time.
Right. Got it. Yeah. So, but sometimes with those things, like you don't know. And then sometimes you don't even know how to troubleshoot it. And you think you wasted a lot of money on equipment. But so you got to figure out how to make it work, because otherwise you did just waste a lot of money if you don't figure out how it works.
Right. And I mean, lessons learned. I was young. I was a young wee lad. Now
I've been doing this a long time. I got a lot of more of those stories when I was younger, but I'm not gonna bring any of them up. Back then, our lighting were the 65-watt bulbs, and you try to go do a mobile gig, and you go to a house, and back then we had the Serwin Vegas with the amps. I mean, they took more than 20 amps, and you plugged in the lights and you plugged in the sound, and everything went kaput. And it was like, so no, I could sit here for hours and tell you. That story was just more relatable to what we were talking about.
Oh yeah, no, there's no one. If you're in production and you only have one horror story, you're not in production. Go do more productions.
Or you don't do mobile. Mobile is like I said, mobile is always, you get to a show and you're like you were saying, you get to a show and you're missing one component and you're done, or you got a new component and you don't have the power for it. Oh yeah, that's crazy.
Which is always why bring extra of everything.
That's why I built the box and I put the Resi in. I just didn't go for a mini, didn't do it. I just put the full encoder in it. It's a full encoder, ready to go.
Bolted in. Yeah.
I'm bolted in there, and we're good. But I'll have to take a picture and send it to you.
Yes, I would like to see it, and I will superimpose it on this video if we get the picture, because I need to see this thing, and I'm sure everyone else would appreciate a clean rack build.
Right. And then just like I was saying, that rack, I didn't design it. I had one of my vendors come in. Half of my vendors I know from the church, and they come in and they help me design these things. They help me put this together. I don't have enough knowledge to do all of theater, all of video production, all of this. I have to rely on my vendors to come in and help me out put these together. And that's why I say another thing I like about Resi, because every time I call you guys up and I need a new idea, like you just came up with a new idea in this interview, like I'm calling, and I'm gonna get that expand it more, So I mean, nobody knows it all. We all gotta help each other out and rely on each other.
Yeah, 1,000,000%. That's why the network is so important, and I appreciate that you're a part of Resi's network, and I'm appreciative that we're a part of your network. Seriously, like I love the fact that you fully feel that we are here for you, and we'll help you with it, whatever you're scheming up, whatever the next idea is, and if we can bring that to life, like let's do it.
Yes, and I really appreciate that, because like so many companies now, you try to get on the phone and call them and get help. You gotta go through a bunch of channels. I love it. I call you guys up.
The automated.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you guys are busy, and I gotta take a call back, but you guys get back quickly, and it's just kind of miss that, because a lot of companies are getting away from that, and I really think that's really sad, because I think we all network and we all help each other.
No, 100%. Yeah, I mean, I personally know all the guys on support, and like they're just great guys, always down to help. I mean, even when I have questions, right? Like when I have technical questions, they are just, if they're not talking to a customer right then and there, they're helping me out. They're, yeah. No, I really love our support team. They're good crew.
Well, thank you to your company for keeping that value service in there, because that's really, really important.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm gonna clip that soundbite up and send it to them, so they're like, oh yes. But all right, Mark, I appreciate your time. Thank you so much for sharing your kind of insights and your ideas, because we were talking about what you've done, but but we've talked more about what you plan to do, and that's really exciting. So thank you for sharing that with me and everyone else listening here. And yeah, can't wait to see more that you're doing.
My pleasure. Yeah, maybe in about 6 months we should do an update because I'm hoping in 6 months we'll be doing a lot more.
Update in 6 months. We heard it here first. All right. Have a good one, Mark.
Much.